All right, if you've ever felt completely paralyzed by a massive choice, or, maybe you've made a snap decision in the heat of the moment that you instantly regretted the next day, well, you definitely need a better framework. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are unpacking a literal step-by-step guide designed to fundamentally change how you handle those tricky crossroads. It's called the 10-10-10 rule.
So really think about this for a second. How do you actually make major decisions? Picture a high-stakes moment. Maybe you've had an absolutely terrible day at work, and you're staring at this aggressively drafted resignation email, finger just hovering right over the send button. Or maybe you're at a dealership, tempted to buy a car you absolutely can't afford just because the test drive felt amazing. In those moments, our brains are basically hijacked by our fight-or-flight response. Logic? Yeah, it completely goes out the window. We let immediate, stressful, emotional reactions dictate our path because we just want to resolve that tension. But reacting solely to that pressure usually leads us right off a cliff.
And that brings us to the core problem here, the short-term emotion trap. As our sources point out, it is incredibly easy to get trapped in the immediate moment. When you're making a huge decision, your current feelings act almost like heavy blinders. You get so hyper-focused on, say, immediate relief or sudden fear or even intense excitement that you completely lose sight of the horizon. Basically, you are making a massive choice for the you of right now and completely ignoring the you of tomorrow.
Enter the 10-10-10 rule. The source material describes this as a powerful reflective tool specifically designed to help you gain some much-needed perspective before you finalize any major choice. And what makes this so brilliant is that it's not just some abstract theory. It's highlighted as an incredibly practical tool to move you out of decision-making theory into daily practice. It is a totally beginner-friendly framework that literally anyone can start using right now to cut through all that emotional noise.
The whole beauty of this framework lies in three distinct time frames. You can think of it as your own personal step-by-step mental time machine. Step 1 is 10 minutes. Step 2 is 10 months. And Step 3 is 10 years. By actively forcing your brain to walk through these three distinct future checkpoints, you pull yourself out of that immediate panic or thrill and stretch your vision into a much longer-term view. Let's break these down, starting right off the bat with Step 1. How will I feel about this decision in 10 minutes? This is the immediate aftermath. You are evaluating your short-term emotional reaction. It's fast, it's visceral. Think back to that angry resignation email we talked about. If you click send right now, what is that initial rush going to feel like? You'll probably get this massive vindicating hit of instant gratification. Or maybe the exact second it leaves your outbox, you get a sudden terrifying spike of panic. This step honors those current fast-paced emotions by just acknowledging them head-on.
But then, the dust settles. Step 2 asks, how will I feel about this in 10 months? Notice how just looking at that timeline forces us to take a deep breath and slow down. In 10 months, that initial spike of emotion, whether it was the thrill of buying the fancy car or the terror of quitting your job, well, it's pretty much entirely faded. This step examines the lingering reality of your choice. Are you struggling to make those massive car payments every single month? Are you happily settled into a new, way better job? This checks how the decision settles into your day-to-day life once the initial reaction is completely gone.
And finally, we arrive at Step 3. How will I feel about it in 10 years? Take a second to really look at that time frame, 10 years. This requires a much more reflective, sweeping view of your entire life. Did buying that luxury car set your long-term financial goals back a whole decade? Did leaving that toxic job open the door to a career you actually genuinely love? This final question forces you to look at the ultimate, long-term trajectory. It's really all about the permanent mark this decision leaves on your life story.
When you stitch these three timeframes together, something kind of magical happens. You stop serving your current emotional state, and you start aligning with your actual long-term goals. The research highlights that by actively applying this rule, you can finally evaluate whether a choice genuinely lines up with what you want out of life in the long run. It completely shifts you from being a reactionary decision-maker to a highly strategic one.
This is where the stark contrasts of the 10-10-10 rule really reveal themselves. Take a look at the first comparison. The sources note that a lot of decisions seem incredibly attractive in the first 10 minutes. I mean, buying that car feels amazing right now, but it can become deeply painful over the next 10 years as you just drown in debt. Now, look at the second contrast. On the flip side, some choices might feel absolutely terrifying in the short term. Having a hard conversation or making a drastic career change, that causes massive anxiety in the first 10 minutes. But those are the exact choices that will make you feel profoundly proud a decade later.
This tool exposes those hidden future realities before you make a mistake.
So, to sum all this up, this is the core beginner-friendly toolkit you need to take away from this explainer today. A simple list of 3 questions to evaluate your long-term goals. Number 1, how will I feel in 10 minutes? Number 2, how will I feel in 10 months? And number 3, how will I feel in 10 years? Whenever you feel that super familiar pressure of a high-stakes choice, just keep these 3 questions in your back pocket. Run through this mental checklist to really anchor your choices, ensuring that your immediate actions are always serving your long-term objectives.
So the next time you find yourself standing at a crossroads, I want you to ask yourself, will your future self be proud of the choice you make today? The 10-10-10 rule is ultimately about building a bridge between who you are right now and who you want to be in the future. Try applying this tool to your next major crossroad and just see who you become 10 years from now.